So, it is Wednesday, and this is the Wednesday before we do our Mega Saturday community stream. If you didn't know, if you didn't know, we're doing a Mega Saturday community stream, and if you're watching this on YouTube, it may have already happened, but two of my moderators put their personal lives on hold to help me with what will be an all-day event. And one of those moderators, Jules, W in the chat or in the YouTube comment section for our friend Black Market Bingo, the actual homie, and Clarky, because he poked his head in the stream, as a person that literally threw an entire Saturday away to spend time with me and with mine and ours. I said, what album? They said, Revealer by Madison Cunningham, or Cunningham. I don't know, if you're from the South, you would say Cunningham. If you're from anywhere else, I guess you say Cunningham, like, whichever it is. Forgive me if I got my Southern all over it. But a lot of people seem to really, really, really dig Madison Cunningham, and I have no idea what I'm getting into. I don't know if this is a scenario where, it's music I'm unfamiliar with. I'm certainly, I say ham, but not sure if her press, got it. Okay. Guys, have you heard this album before? This is, again, in honor of a moderator who's got a pretty good peg on my taste. So as a music discovery stream, do me a favor. Let me know. Are you listening to this with me for the first time? Or are you, are you familiar? Are you hopping into familiar waters? Are you raw dogging, or are you jumping in for the first time? I'm going to hit the play button. Before I do, it's very important to me that you know that you are awesome, that you are valuable, that you are important, that you matter, that you are deserving of love, and that I am abundantly grateful for even a moment of your time. If you like what you see, feel free to hit the like and the subscribe button. It goes a long way to help me out. If you really like what you see, leave a comment. I would love to hear from you, or join us on Twitch or Kick. These people over here are the best people. Come hang out with us. Come discover music with us. I stream every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Arizona time. We actually have one of the coolest communities on the internet, the most positive, kind people that really just love discovering music. I know I speak for all of us when I say we'd love to have you by. And we even got a little bit of context from the homie Jules. Hey, hang on. Revealer is the second studio album by American guitarist and singer-songwriter Madison Cunningham. I'm going to say ham, just I feel like that's how she'd want it. Released in 2020 and 2022, the album mixes elements of folk rock, jazz, and pop, while Cunningham has also cited Afropop and South American music as influences. She describes the album title, Revealer, as neither positive nor negative. It means unveiling truth, and stated that much of the record deals with depression, anxiety, alongside the desire for emotional stability. Upon its release, Revealer received positive reviews from critics, with particular praise being directed at Cunningham's songwriting, vocals, and guitar playing. Cunningham toured in promotion of the album throughout 2023 and 2024, including as an opening act for Hoser and John Mayer. If you guys know me, you know I'm a big old stand for the mayor. So, yeah, dude's actually taught me a lot of guitar lessons by just existing. Anyways, that's really high praise. So, pretty excited to hear this. You guys know I really love Guitar Player. The album won a Grammy too. Okay, fantastic. Mayer praises her a lot. Okay, fantastic. Love to hear that too, guys. I guess we're good to go now. Let's hop in and see what this is about. I'm pretty juiced. So, am I to assume that the guitars I hear are from Madison? Let me know. And by the way, if you got songs and you want to get them, remember, Community Saturday is going to be featuring every single song on the pie. So, if you got songs you want me to hear, you better dump them in there between now and then. Here we go. All I've Ever Known, the opener of the album Revealer by Madison Cunningham. Here we go. Sorry, I'm gonna, you didn't hear it because I had to turn it up. I'm gonna go back, but it kind of had a little math rock intro there. her voice is a breath of fresh air, dude. Oh.
Passenger van to Ohio, the Chrysler invention hums and blows. Warm air through the vents sends it straight to the bone. Outside, it's
her meter.
Below. It's a pain I've never known.
That drum, yeah, do. When you say the modern Joni vibe, I wanted to say that, but it feels really early to start commenting on that. But it's like the lyrical take, the meter, the way she does it, kind of reminds me a little bit of Coyote, just right off the bangle.
Through the vents sends it straight to the bone. Outside, it's 9 below. It's a pain I've never known.
The little strings, the guitar. I'm getting the folk vibe. Really nice, clean tone there.
To the gray golden state and the lanterns in little Tokyo. If the fumes don't kill you first, then the dreaming surely will. You tell me on the phone. It's a pain.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2. Is this 6/8?
I look out the window and let my mind wander from order to the open sky. And sometimes I swear I'll just never return, but it's all I've ever known. It's all I've ever known.
I'm really digging this. Like, there's a lot of string layers, like, with a lot of accented noises. Like, obviously not everything. The isn't guitar, but
it's all I've ever known.
like the percussive of the clicking sounds on the drums.
Will you take me as I am in perfect obedience to all these demands? I'm a child of the water, but a victim of the change when I see you again. Well, I know.
Every instrument and every vocal is her? Only this tune. Ah, pretty dope. And yo, Corey, thank you for the gifted sub to the libraryman. Friggin' bam.
All these demands. I'm a child of the water, but a victim of the change when I see you again. Well, I know what to say.
The dynamic drum sound. Going from toms to clicks.
I'm not immune to a piece of bad news.
And the bass. Listen to the bass. I know I keep interrupting, but like when you realize the tandem of sound, it's fantastic. And stereo spectrum. Scoots, thank you. Gift to one to El Jefe. I really love that.
I'm not immune to a piece of bad news. I just do what I must to move on.
I love that lyric.
Truth will put me under so I don't feel a thing. It's the only way I know. It's the only way I know. I hear nothing, no rescue coming, just church bells going out the door.
Dude, Scoots.
I'm afraid that you were made by invention, and odds are I may never know.
The swing of this is just so lovely.
I may never know. Will you take me as I came in this resistance to the sound of my
reverse the delays. Did you hear the reverse delays? I get so tickled about This has been a lesson in TLC with your instruments, dude. Like the layering, the way that she's got all of these little details that just kind of fall right into place. But if you're not listening for them, they completely go right by you. Corey, dude, thank you so much. That's so much, dude. Thank you so much for the 510 tickle bitties, dude.
You're all I've ever known. You're all I've ever known. You're the only thing that I know, and I'm afraid of what I don't know. You're all I've
This is just terrific. Yo, Corey, again, thank you for the gift and stuff. This, as I look at this, though, I really think that the nugget lyric here that just stands the test of the song, I'm not immune to a piece of bad news. I just do what I can to move on. Give me truth, but put me under so I don't feel a thing. It's the only way I know. It's almost like she's like there's a comment on like, hey, if you're gonna tell me something I don't want to hear, like get me drunk first, get me high first, like put me under, like make me fall under your spell. And I also feel like I don't know, this is a comment on kind of maybe a couple of things, like whether all you've ever known is like a faith, or when all you've ever known and you finally get a chance to think outside of that box of faith for a while, or when all you've ever known is like, you know, like a relationship or something. It kind of feels like a comment on that, and almost like the acquiescence of like, well, yeah, it's bad, but it's what I know, right? Like there is a tremendous man, and you know, golly, this song kind of feels in and of itself as like an acquiescence, you know, like you're just, this is just what it is. You know, you kind of accept it as it is because that's just what you know. And again, when I think about like where my life was at the age of 25, it's very, very much kind of the same thing. You know, it's crazy to think that was almost 10 years ago now, but you know, when I was 25, I was definitely wrestling with like, do I still live the way that you know, the people that I grew up around me would want me to live? Do I still have those belief systems? Do I really still even agree with those systems? Like, does that work for me? I feel like everybody kind of has like a coming to themselves meeting, like where everybody kind of looks themselves in the mirror and you know, reads themselves the riot act, and they're like, is this who I am now? And at least I hope that's you, right? Like that you asked yourself hard questions about your life and why you live the way you do. It feels like this song is like that. And I like, you guys know I like introspective writing, but this feels very much like a reflection of that. And that's awesome to me. And this one is Hospital. Interesting tone. Really overdriven, but quiet.
Well, you'll never see me dying on screen or microscope. I'll be the first to laugh it off.
I want to call attention to the fact that we go from almost a muted muzzled tone to like the tone poking like a full-bodied tone coming right into your left ear and filling out the stereoscape.
See me dying on screen or microscope.
Right here.
I'll be the first to laugh it off let you sleep it off. Checking into a hospital where the nurses earth and sky, fighting against my flesh and blood. There's nothing I won't try. Even heartache looks so easy to repair grieving eyes. I'm always one man down. Grieving eyes.
I'm always one man down.
I'm always one man down. I'm always one
I want to hear
man
that again. That was so lovely. Dude, this is like, honestly, and I'm not saying this to like say she is derivative. I'm getting the best possible Sheryl Crow vibes ever, but like with her own distinct guitar tone. Like, this is amazing. Who's listening to this with me for the first time and just getting their hair thrown back?
grieving eyes. I'm always one man down. I'm always one man down and dressed up.
Gosh.
I am an antenna, a feeding tube and a hard drive, entertaining myself to death to maintain some sort of life. Staring up at a concrete roof, thinking it could fall any minute. The
Fuzzy, squealy guitar tones, dude. Like, it definitely feels like some guitar tone textures like these end up on like B741 from King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, as well as some of the Phantom Island stuff, like the squealy, riffy guitars there in the back.
Staring up at a concrete roof, thinking it could fall any minute.
That.
Fall line can't be reasoned with, no matter what the house has in it. Checking into a hospital where the nurses church and stay. The cure's got that oxygen we're all looking to taste. With the bass lines and the moss wings,
The sliding there.
I'm always one man down. I'm always one man down.
This, I am always one man down. You've got that really cool walk up and down part that goes behind it, like not quite the melody, but a harmony of the melody.
One man down. I'm always one man down. I'm dressed up.
Such easy listening, dude.
If my mind's an orphanage, you're not
The
in
riff
market
orients are so
tonight.
nice.
Living like this is just no way to die. Put it in terms I can understand. This wound is all I've got, but I can't disconnect my head from the damage that it's brought. Will stay base on this cruel place.
Her vocal editing is super interesting because you would I would imagine to hear have a cleaner kind of vocal tone, but she's got almost like an Ambrose Kenny Smith like kind of reverb overdrive gain to her
It
voice
just won't crack
with some compression in there.
And I'm always one man down. I'm always one man down. And fed up.
And fed up, dude. Boy, man, Jules, you pegged us. This is great. This is so good. And it's like, it's just easy music to listen to and smile to. It's got good feelings, right? It's like relatable. I like it. This is real good. I got to run an ad. I'll be right back. W's for Jules. All right, sorry, had to move Clarky up into the bed to sit with Mama because Clarky's taking care. Clarky's taking care of his sick mama. W's for loving animals and sick wives everywhere. All right, guys, let's get back into this. Poor Mel, she's like, am I missing a really good one? I was like, you are. Ooh, that's primarily left ear.
Jasmine on the vine, clothes drying on a chair. Pay no mind to me and my Barnegat hair. Method and madness, nothing to discuss.
Verb label, a division of UMG.
Waiting on my eyes to adjust.
Dang.
Any day now.
This might be a while before it hits YouTube officially, because UMG.
Seeking, you'll find her in hidden speech. Thin as a vapor, moving at half speed. I work hard just to get through, and I'm jealous thinking it comes easy to you.
Her use of meter, and honestly, the more I've heard her play guitar in the folky kind of style, I absolutely agree with every single person, though I'm pretty sure Crimson Raider said it first, that it reminds me of Adrienne Lanker from, or I think I said her last name, right? From Big Thief. If you haven't gone out of your way to listen, totally worth your time. Totally worth your time. But I'm definitely getting the especially some of the folkier electric guitar vibes out of her in that, and that's big compliments.
And I'm jealous thinking it comes easy to you. You could convince me of anything. You could convince me of anything. Any day now, I'll find myself free of it. You turn and see me there and to answer to no one. Any day now, I'll smile in the face of it, and you'll say you'd rather me anywhere.
You even get some of these nice little arpeggios in the back. Do 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 do. I'm really impressed with her guitar work there.
Now I'll smile in the face of it, and you'll say you'd rather me anywhere but here.
Love this.
Walking after dark, holding tight to my keys. You don't give a second thought, walking where you please. You say you are making it all harder than it has to be, but you call from your sky rising, I'm living underneath. You could convince me of anything. You could convince
Background
me of
vocals.
anything. Any day now, I'll find myself free of it. You turn and see
Sorry, the moderator conversation happening behind the happening in the chat right now is kind of hilarious.
any day now, I'll find myself
This is
free
incredible.
of it. You turn and see me there and to answer to no one. Any day now, I'll smile in the face of it, and you'll say you'd rather me anywhere.
Her voice.
Anywhere.
I want you to, again, the bass line that happens with the do 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 do. And I know I stopped right before a big transition, but it's this way she does the anywhere part. Also, very much more reminding me of the Adrienne Lanker comparison. But it's like, again, in a very good way, and she's doing it in her very unique way. I like that this feels like it's so many different inspirations kind of thrown into one very unique and on its own thing.
You'd rather me anywhere.
These clean tones are kicking me in the butt, dude. They're so good.
Anywhere. Anywhere.
anybody else kind of get a Bob Dylan lyrical take in this? Like, what are you going on about? I don't understand. Shooting the bluebird down just to feel more like a man. That absolutely feels like it's a Bob Dylan homage in lyricism.
I don't understand. Shooting the bluebird down just to feel more like a man. What will it take? I can't get you out. You give and you take and you'll take for anything. Oh, you kill for anything. Take my will if it was me bailing you out.
The swing of the guitar, right? The bass slides. Yo, what's up, Mystic May? Welcome to the Rooskies. Rooskies, make our new friend feel at home. The yelp.
Bailing you out.
This guitar part in the bass slide. That's so nice. I'm definitely a big old fan of this one, dude. There is something very interesting about the way that she articulates, and I think it's and more than just her like lyricism, right? Like the way she delivers the meter over the lyricism is really interesting. And I used to think that when people broke up the meter, it's because they were bad guitar players. And now I think it's actually kind of more difficult sometimes to break up the meter than to not break up the meter. And so when I hear her sing and I hear all these little delicate, intricate guitar parts that sometimes strike you as less and more, but are actually difficult to play, it's really, really, really nice. And this was released July 22nd of 2022, so 7 days before my 31st birthday. I didn't want to go all the way back, even though I liked the math rock. So Sunshine Over the Counter. You're the lo-fi breakup already that goes from left to right ear? She really plays with the stereoscape. Ooh.
Sunshine over the counter again. The bank's running low. I don't want your
Those
looks,
toms.
I don't want your candy. I want your medicine. I've been waiting for something good to really happen.
You hear that?
It's the way it's always been, or the way it's never been.
The flutteries.
I'm a coward at heart with some.
If there was ever a moment where sound was the sound of cartoon butterflies flying out of a trunk, this was it.
Never
Listen. Am I wrong?
I'm a coward at heart with some
Feist.
good excuses.
Absolutely.
Sending my Sara again. Stick you with the pen, cut you with some paper, feeling braver, drinking gin. I
In there.
know just what to say. After we're together, it's the way I've always been. Showing little to no skin. Good girl, got some bad in her, cussing like a drunk, driving with her knees quarter to quarter, dealing with the torture of living hard and not feel.
This is the most Mac DeMarco I've ever heard her guitar sounds, and it's so interesting that we go from sounds that kind of have this classic rock tone, kind of like, you know, like Southern inspired rock kind of squealing sounds, and then you get this really modulated indie rock tone that sounds like it's right out of Mac DeMarco's playbook. And like, if you know me, you know I love Mac D.
Got some bad inner cussing like
Anybody
a
else
dog,
catching that guitar vibe?
driving with her knees, quarter to quarter, dealing with the torture.
It won a Grammy.
Spending more to not feel broke.
Dude, like the Salad Day guitar tones are all over this.
I'm the middle child of fear and democracy. I'm making my religion proud. Keep it to yourself, keep it in the family. Keep your loud voice down. Is the room getting smaller, or is it just your daughter laying the blueprint out?
Her harmonies.
There's no question, feel no doubt. Good girl, got some bad inner green car on her lower back. Knife in the toaster, didn't know it could kill her. Living high to not feel low.
This is so lovely.
Saying you know what you don't.
Aaron, Crimson, it's because you can't put your finger on it because you haven't listened to Mac DeMarco recently enough. Like that's it. I cannot get past the guitar tone comparison. Not derivative at all. If anything, I think it's probably conscientious homage.
Low. Saying you know what you don't.
And the comment on, I feel like she's talking about like pharmaceutical self-medication. I feel like this song is kind of like that. And there's like a little bit of a, I don't know, maybe this is my anecdotal thing from a past where like, I liked what doctors gave me. It feels like, exactly. So it feels like there's a little bit of a good girl acknowledging she's kind of a bad girl for liking the stuff that she gets over the counter. But that's fine.
Living high to not feel low. Saying you know what you don't. Who's loving, who's done?
Oh, man.
Who's paying for it this time? A little toy for your
The clarinet's such a nice little addition there.
overworked and underpaid.
I want to, again, there's so many different parts of the guitar to pick apart, but it's like, this is exactly in my vein of stuff I like to play. You can hear the pickup pop from her finger percussives. Like when she like,
You're great, overworked and underpaid.
right there, the pickup pop. Like she's playing like finger picking and like hand.
Got some good in her, cussing like a drunk, driving with the knees, quarter to quarter, dealing with the torture of living high to not feel low. Bad girl,
I think tape modulation.
got some guilt too. You see if you look in, losing grip and skipping dinners. Don't you remember feeling low when it got hard to say no? Living hard to not feel so
The idea of I'm not necessarily getting the sunshine in a bag concept, right? Like I'm getting the guilty pleasure of self-medicating concept, and that makes me feel really happy because I think it's a relatable concept for anybody that's battled with self-medication. If she has her own JHS pedal, I respect her even more. I have followed that company since I was, like on the road, and they're one of the coolest YouTube channels in my opinion as far as gear goes. If you're a gearhead, like watch the JHS channel. But also, it does feel like there is I was gonna say kind of a pitch thing. It's got like a Warbletron kind of sound to it without going full bore tape delay. But it's like if you could take the warble that comes from a tape delay, like an old analog tape delay, and throw it into this sound, there's definitely something there. It's got a really cool, like, hearing her do her finger picking, like her like. I spent a lot of time learning like to play folk, like kind of sounding stuff with my fingers and thumb. Like learning how to walk bass notes with my thumb is one of my my proudest accomplishments in playing guitar. But to hear her take this very acoustic style and put it to an electric style, and even to the point where you can hear her slapping the strings and making the pickups pop from that sound, and how those tones are affected within this, she really fills up a stereo soundscape, and it's like it doesn't collapse over itself. When you have such a wet sound, sometimes it's easy to make the sound offensive to the ear, because it's so washed out, and it makes everything just kind of bleed together. But this has a very clean, concise mix.
Feel so
Incredible.
sunshine over the counter again.
This is like such natural listening for me.
Sunshine over the counter again.
So I'll tell you this. This is an interesting concept, and it just occurred to me. I've gotten rid of algorithmic music listening suggestions in my life, right? Because of what I do here on this channel, I feel like there's no way a robot is going to give me a piece of music that I'm going to like more than one of yous might give me, okay? And this is proven correct time and time and time and time again. And that is 100% why I don't necessarily pick streaming services for their algorithms or their playlists. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking to curate my own stuff, right? And a lot of that happens because of your suggestions. This screams at me something that my own algorithms would have just thrown into my ears because of the kind of music I've spent my entire life listening to. And when I discover indie stuff that I would have loved anyway, and it comes from a person like somebody I have an actual relationship with, or, somebody in the community that's sharing that with all of us, it's a very different experience than when a robot gives it to me. It adds a little something special, and I feel like maybe one of the reasons that this music community's discovery thing works out so well is because it provides a level of organic shared music that you cannot simply simulate with the robot or an algorithm or something like that. There is when I think about my formative music, there was always a level of organic discovery to it. Frightened Rabbit, for example, I found for the first time on a random video that was playing in an American Eagle when I was 15. And it was just a cartoon video that was probably purchased for nothing, and the band probably got paid nothing for it. But I found it in an American Eagle, and I literally stared at that screen until I saw the name, went home, and I got onto the computer, and I figured everything out. And had to hide from mom and dad because I wasn't allowed to listen to secular music, but that's a different story for a different day. My favorite band in my formative years, Death Cab for Cutie, I discovered them because of a random song used in a commercial of a movie that I would go on to see. I discovered the Decemberists because they were talking an interview with Death Cab for Cutie. So there's a lot of different little moments. Like the Shins I discovered because I traded a CD with a guy at a bus stop, right? So many of my favorite musicians in music discovery came because me and other people you know, talked about it, or I have a story that connects me to it. Doing this channel, I have many stories that have led me to many amazing songs, bands, whatever. But when I can hear this and I can recognize this is something that an algorithm would have given me and I may have overlooked it, versus a group of my friends and I got together and listened to a bunch of music and it's right up my alley. And you know, my friend Jules knew that it would be right up my alley and was like, hey, you got to listen to it. I think that there's something really special about shared music in that regard, that you just cannot make a robot do for you, no matter how much data is loaded into the fact that things are sonically similar. Just my 2 cents about it. Sorry to wax poetic for so long, but I just connected a lot of dots there. That does make me feel appreciated. I mean, I appreciate that, but it does make me feel old.
Won't you, girl?
It really does. Written about her grandmother that passed away during COVID. Oh, F's. That bass slide, though, tasty. Life according to Raechel.
Won't you, girl? I'm always your girl. When I'm here or when I'm there, or on a plane headed somewhere.
Wow.
You were staring down the cars, hoping it would be one of ours. Children and grandchildren riding your cards, but how long were you waiting for me to make a left down your street?
Dang.
It's not if, darling, it's when. Was there something left unsaid? Were your eyes green? Was they blue? What was it that I forgot to ask you? Busy hands are set on down to say I love you right out loud. I'll bet you're making heaven laugh, but it feels like tears and memories all we have.
Mm. Mm. I lost my grandma to dementia almost 2 years ago. I go. Today is 2 years since my grandma died. Today, October 8th, is 2 years since my grandma died. And I watched it happen. I was in the room with her. And I watched her breathe her last, you know? Today is that day. And I had very close relationship with my grandma, and after my divorce, I moved to Phoenix to be near her because I knew she wasn't gonna last. And I got here, and she remembered who I was. She knew why I moved here. And each time I saw her, she forgot a little bit more until one day she didn't know who I was. And sometimes she would like hit on me because she thought I was handsome. And she it was embarrassing, but she would like try to put the moves on me and like in front of all of my family members, and we all kind of laughed about it, and always left me feeling really heavy. And um I'm pretty sure I was one of the last, if not the last moment of lucidity that she had. And I'd grown my hair out really long, and she grabbed my curls, and I was just sitting on the bed with her. It was just the two of us, and my cousin walked in as this was happening and took a picture. It's probably one of the most special pictures I have. She grabbed my curls, and I was telling her I was thinking about getting a haircut, and she told me not to. She loved my curls. She said, "I love your curls, Wally." Um, and a week later, I lose her, and in this time, I'm like cleaning my life out, like I'm sobering up, and I've like I can remember going crazy, wanting to just get destroyed, and wanting so badly to like be able to just talk to my grandma and tell her how bad everything hurt and how much I missed her. And it's crazy to think that two years ago today, I didn't even think about it being October 8th. I need to call my mom. But my I I really saw my story there, and then as I looked at the date, it kind of just hit me. I think for music to be able to do something like that is huge. To be able to just take some deep core part of who you are and articulate it in their own context, but be able to relate with you just as you are, where you are, is such a artistic gift. And as much as it hurts to be reminded of how terrible it was to watch my favorite person breathe for the last time, this is something I've never done in my whole life, right? Like, she's the only person I've ever watched die. And to be able to find a way to put beauty to such a heavy moment in my life. Madison has never met me, of course, right? But to be able to take that and put something so palatable to it, it's a gift. Sorry to kind of derail the song there. I didn't realize that. I stare at this. I see this thing all the time, and I don't know. I really miss her though. She had a ridiculous amount of grandkids, and I'm pretty positive I was her favorite. But interestingly enough, every single one of my 36 first cousins and every single one of their kids all thought that they were her favorite. And I think that says something really special about the person. Call your parents, call your grandparents if they're in your life. Tell them you love them. There's a lot I wish I would have talked to my grandma about before it was too late. And she's a person that would have listened, you know? She's a person that would have. And I walk away feeling good about the fact that I left the career I hated, and you know, started a totally different one. I started sobering up, and my life completely changed, and out of really, really, really terrible, horrible parts of my life sprouted something really, really beautiful. Um, you know, it's crazy to think that that was truly just the beginning of everything. Um, but call your people and tell them that you love them, because there will come a day where you can't do that anymore, and it's going to drive you crazy with the things that you wish you would have. It's just from me to you.
Got to ask you. Busy hands are set on down to say I love you right out loud. I'll bet you're making heaven laugh. But it feels like tears and memories, all we have. Once I knew it, I was always a know-it-all. Too busy, too stressed out to take your call. Thought I would always find you there, sitting in your TV chair. Well, time is in a bar, having a laugh somewhere. The nurse said you were waiting for me to let go, to let it be. It's not if, darling, it's when. There's always something left unsaid. Were your eyes green? Were they blue? What was it that I forgot to ask you? Hands are set on down to say I love you here and now. Did God need a new leaf in his band when this world and its people all we have? Once your girl, I'm always your girl.
It's beautiful, dude. That was really good. Dan Smith from the band Listener had a very interesting quote where he said, "We only have what we remember." I have very many wonderful memories of my grandmother, and I know I'm not the only one. But there is an element where that's true. I feel like there are things I wish I would have talked to her about. There's things I know that she wanted to be there for me for, and I didn't allow her to be because of whatever. And I kind of robbed myself of, letting my grandma love me in a lot of phases of my life when I know that she just wanted to. Um, and I know I say this a lot in my videos, but it's important to me that anybody I can tell understands the fragility of life, and does, don't take your people for granted, because it's gonna hit you one day that you did. It's gonna suck. Call call your people and tell them that you love them. This album is incredible. Wow. And if you guys would, W's in the chat and in the YouTube comments for my grandma Esther, because she really did make being a good person look cool to me, you know? She dealt with more than I've ever seen a person deal with. And, you know, from everything from sharing her faith with me to sharing just in my joy when I was happy and in my sadness when I was sad. And even just liking my curls. She was the best person. And I am tremendously blessed for having gotten to have her in my life. 2 years, gosh.
Doesn't it feel strange when you come to say it out loud? Time to act your age, no one's gonna show you how. And you say it's getting too late to change it now, and the way you are is painted and drying out. The mind has a way
I like the
of
percussion
building
there.
you up to break you down. Who are you now? Who are you this time? Who
I like the
are you
acoustic guitar in the
now? Who are you this time? It's not the notes you
I like that she doesn't do conventional standard leads. You know? I'm trying to kind of pull myself out of that one, guys. I know that was kind of a deep song, and this is kind of emotionally jarring in a good way. Not everybody that listens to this song has the realization that their grandma died 2 years ago
now.
to this album. It was unfair.
Who are you this time? Who are you now? Who are you this time? It's not the notes you play, but all of the notes you imply. Yeah, you know just what to say when you're not convinced that it's right. Do you mourn for what isn't for all that you had? Do you want to drive that car right onto the tracks? Well, anything with loving and asking will drive you
I
mad.
really do like this song.
Who are you now? Who are you this time? Who are you now? Who are you this time? Who are you now? Who are you this time?
This is really kind of singing a reflection of what my life was back then, too. You know, like going in that time period where I lost my grandma, you know, in the midst of all of that, I'm literally reforging the entirety of my life in that time period. And there was very much a who is Walter without vices period of my life. And that was a hard thing to navigate.
You now?
And I think it's one of those things that grief puts you into. You know what I mean? It puts you into a reflection of like, who am I without this person in my life? Who, you know, and who am I with, you know, in that context of my life? Who was I without with these changes that I had made? And I like that. I feel like especially when I'm hearing that, I'm definitely getting some Joni Mitchell vibe. There's no doubt about it.
You now? Who are you this time?
She's less talky than Joni. kind of feels like they're playing on like a pocket amp or like a practice amp. It sounds real boxy, like this kind of guitar tone.
All become sensible and love unfair. Well, neither one will give you the time to prepare. But this dance comes naturally once you put your feet there. Who are you now?
Is that the sound you meant when you said Joni Mitchell? Yeah, it sounds like they're just little 5-watt tube bangers. You know what I mean? It feels like I'm listening to like one like one EL84. Love this sound already, this acoustic sound.
Rocket to land and from Japan. Tell me what's your mission here? Lord only knows it's been weighing on your mind.
Is that Tom going 4 on the floor? Like,
And from Japan. Tell me what's your mission here?
yeah, we're 4 on the floor right now.
Lord only knows it's been weighing on your mind. As elect signals, traveling missiles, waiting on an act of God to level the pressure and the claustrophobia.
Love the metering there.
It comes and goes, cosmic revelation and plateaus, trying to be the next original in a tribute band.
Oh, wow. Trying to be the next original in a tribute band. Wow.
Watermark, they're trying to own the image nature carved. Well, metadata won't support your cause. Did you expect anything more or less? No one's holding you back now. No one's holding you back now.
That very much screams Beatles to me. Like, think maybe Sgt. Pepper Through the White Album.
No one's holding you back now. No one's
You hear what I'm talking about?
holding you back now. Carnival skies, ballet on ice, bombs exploding in rivers. The world's greatest song is one the mortals ever heard. Quiet for sound infected with doubt, petals falling at your feet.
This isn't a great song.
It's hard to pick out the imitation from the real thing. I'm from the west, the city sparkles like a sequin dress. You're sitting right across from a lifeless animation of yourself. The dark days are getting smaller as you pull away.
without being derivative and with 100% like probably homage. The Beatlesy sound textures applied to this are incredible. Hearing her lyrics and the way that she's articulating this is incredible. And to your point, Civ, I'm going absolutely bonkers. The worst part about Tidal is the spacing in the lyrics. Why they do it, I have no clue. I'm literally trying to figure out some way I can be like, guys, stop. That said, I can't go back to Spotify. I've heard too much a difference at this point. Like, it really just makes me feel as a musician like I've been listening to music with its own earplugs on. That's really what it feels like.
Some things are too hard to say out loud.
I can't go back to that sound quality. Builds here is lovely. This might have been the strongest song to me on the album, though I don't know. Like there's been several moments where I was like, that was as profound as it comes. But then there are also moments where I'm like, man, this is perfectly up my sound texture. You know, like Sunshine Over the Counter, for example. There's absolutely like a real thing there. And this honestly, this is hitting me in a way I hadn't quite anticipated. I'm going to run an ad and then I will be back. This is truly beautiful, guys. Sorry, I got a little leveled there. But we'll be right back. W's for my wife. I had to kind of go and get a hug. Music is super cool. You know, to be able to carry such an emotional weight and provide an understanding to some random dude in Arizona, you know, from years past. I think that maybe there was a little bit of a kind of a level of processing I'm still doing on the loss of my grandma, and strangely enough, I feel like this has provided maybe a unique opportunity and a very safe place for me to do that. And a lot of that's you guys, and you know, obviously the catalyst being the song and the artist, but you can't plan on things like, you know, it being October 8th and you're why I don't know why it's not coming into focus, but you can't plan on things like it being October 8th. Why are you not for whatever? Okay, you get what I'm saying. You can't plan on things like that. It being on October 8th and you just happen to be listening to this album on October 8th, you know, 2 years after. And I think that's kind of the like this album, this memory with you guys. In this live moment right now is something I get to share forever. Like it's a really beautiful memory at the end of the day, even if it came with some pain to it. And I guess I'm feeling very gracious that you guys are kind of there. I made it almost a whole day without remembering it was this day. You know, just doing idle things in my day-to-day life like work, and there's no way Jules could have known. She didn't know me then. You know, there's no way Black Market Bingo ever approached this album saying like, "Oh man, this is really going to touch Walt about his grandma," because she didn't even know I'd lost a grandma. That's just the beauty of music and discovery and life, kind of, you know? Uh, and yeah, it's been a hard week, but I can say that this wasn't part of the hard week. I didn't even see this coming. You know, I knew that the month was the month, but I guess I didn't even consider today was the day. And I'm positive I'm doing what she would want me to be doing. So I feel really good about all that, you know, like, but it hits heavy. The stream died. That's stupid. Why did the stream die? Okay, well, I guess the whole thing is back. Are we coming back? Are we back? Refresh. Oh my gosh. You gotta love Twitch. Anyway. Hey. Boy, howdy. When everybody starts spilling back in, we'll get back to this album. But I guess I really wanted everybody to know how much I appreciate yous for kind of allowing me a safe place, you know, to process things. And you know, with friends and you can't help when serendipity hits your life, but you know, you guys have always, I appreciate you letting me wear my heart on my sleeve. Anyways, apparently Twitch is going to make me run another ad, which is really frustrating, but you know, this is what it is. I will be back. Okay. Guys, sorry about that, but the double ad thing, you can't help Twitch being Twitch. Let's close this thing down, shall we? We've got song 8 to song 11 to go, and let's hop into Collider Particles. Here we go. Drum machine for W's. Ooh, you hear that acoustic?
I turn around, how long have you been there? Not making a sound, doing your best not to stare. Poster of the modern age, you said you know yourself today.
Her harmony's coming in on that. You've got to really, like, kind of, is it 3/4 and then a 4/4? Like, it's, there's a really weird tension to the timing here, but then you get her uplifting harmonies right after that.
Best not to stare.
7/8.
Of the modern age, you said you know yourself today. Pin the tail, Medicaid, whatever keeps you motivated.
Ooh. Kind of like a baby sitar.
Apple for the knowledge and poison for the truth. If I knew of a better way, dear, I'd hand it off to you. Motorways, barricades, artificial.
The harmonies coming in when she does these Poster of the Modern Age and Motor Waves Barricades. That motorway, I butchered it, but it's beautiful in the way she transitions into that.
Motorways, barricades, artificial serenade, pin the tail, medicate, whatever keeps you motivated. Collider particles, entirely possible. You might have to lose your mind to wrap your head around it. Don't be cynical. Mistakes are miracles designed to take what's sensible. But ask yourself why.
Her voice is Her voice is right at the brink where it would get raspy. And I think that that's a very interesting perspective. She's got a clean voice, but it's like not that much farther away from being a raspy or breakup voice. And I really, really, really like that. The way that this has this acoustic driven kind of rhythm to it with that, it almost feels like the acoustic lead part is kind of what drives the song here.
Miracles designed to take what's sensible, but ask yourself why.
And rainbow vibes. Okay. I could kind of see that without the falsetto-y thing. But those guitar parts right there kind of remind me of like psychedelic giz. Think like maybe any of the microtonal albums, but maybe even Polygon Duanaland era giz.
Did everything the right way, just born in the wrong time. Ancient constellations still drawing out the same lines. Poster of the modern age, the currency of our
This has been one of the more unique songs.
Particles, entirely possible. You might have to lose your mind to wrap your head around it. Nearly biblical. Mistakes are miracles designed to take what's sensible. But ask yourself why.
It does remind me a whole lot of Big Thief in a great way. That was so nice. This reminded me again. This was probably like the closest to the Big Thief sound I actually felt like I got, with a bit more of a mustard to it. Like if you took some of the King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard brand of psychedelic mustard with their kind of jangly or psych guitar sounds, and throw Adrian Lenker kind of Big Thief lyrical take and kind of the different swings that she throws into things. But it's very much just like her own thing. I don't know of anybody else that really nails what she's doing, you know? Her use of kind of sometimes seemingly out of tune guitars, like it feels like there's a real organic kind of thing to it, and maybe that I don't know, it gives you kind of like maybe even a Middle Eastern sort of music vibe, but it's got like a tension built into the sound. It goes into regular song.
Suffering, but no one can say how someone reclaims a little autonomy, sold it to the land, tossed it like seed, saw it go hands and fold me underneath.
The use of sounds that are not instruments. You hear the clanking in the right ear. You hear the brushing sounds, like the scraping sounds in the left. Listen.
Claims a little autonomy, sold it to the land, tossed it like seed, saw it grow hands and full of meat underneath.
Absolutely, yes.
Your name is a torch to the skin, and I've heard it spoken so many times it hardly sounds like a word. You're not to be crossed, but then you never were. You say God and man have always raced to be first, and I'm under the table catching the excess left to be strong over 2,000 frets. What does it say about you? Your hate could power a train.
Wow.
And what does it say about me? Your love could get away with anything.
That is an interesting concept. What does it say about you? Your hate could power a train. Like it's like I'm guessing in this case it's like coals, like you're burning hot like coal. And what does it say about me that your love could get away with anything? Your love could get away with anything,
Anything.
The double standard of love in that context is interesting.
I've been needle to the groove and let it play out while you're playing on virtue. What could I say now? Plain as the limb on your family tree. I know the way they hurt you is the way you hurt me. Quietly, I'm losing my mind, losing my mind, losing my mind, and you don't see it now. What does
See,
it
these are
say
so
about
nice.
you? Your hate could power a train. And what does it say about me? Your love could get away with anything.
The lyrical take feels like it's particularly inspired by like early 2000s music, like early 2000s pop music, stuff like what like maybe Michelle Branch, you know what I mean? Or the gal that sings this song on Written. But it's like, imagine if you took like Ween and King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard kind of like artistic influence, inspiration kind of stuff. Throw in like some Brown, throw in some indie rock, throw in some ripping guitars. This is this is like really, really, really cool.
With anything. I'm not messing around, not ready to laugh about it. I don't worship the ground that's holding you. I think it's wrong the way you harm, but no one ever looks too hard at it.
The Brown guitar sounds are just so ripping for me right now.
What does it say about you? Your hate could power a train. And what does it say about me? Your love could get away with anything.
There's also a little doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo in the guitar thing happening in the left ear.
Away with anything.
Yeah, no, I feel like you don't get Brown sounds or microtonal sounds or even like kind of polyrhythmic sounds conventionally speaking in your everyday kind of indie rock delivery, right? So this is significantly further than that. It's like it's a certainly more modern and psychedelic take on indie rock, but it's also maybe a more like traveled, right? Like it feels like this is more than just X amount of sound textures. And I think a lot of the reason you got to think like indie rock in a lot of ways, and I'm talking about like the textures that comprise of the sounds that are indie rock, not like the ethos that is indie rock, but it often comes from like, I'm guessing guys that were pretty big into like the more emotional side of the new wave stuff, like or even just the like kind of the I mean think the Smiths, who are I wouldn't say necessarily new wave, but not necessarily punk either. You know, Prefab Sprout, I would say probably goes in there, but you've got a lot of like definite, I guess, you know, like, I don't know, pretty consistent dorky groups coming out of the 80s. Talking Heads for sure, but that's definitely new wave, but like kind of inspiring a lot of sound textures that get taken off in the 90s and really come to fruition in the early 2000s. And you know, I'd say really like 98 into like 2009 is a is kind of the dawn of the indie rock era, but that's all very limited influence. And I feel like something like what Madison's doing has both influences in her sound, so it combines a lot more texture. And it's really cool to see how it gets incorporated.
What is wrong? Have you forgot I'm not a stranger? You're left-footed and
Love the bass here.
headstrong.
The
And
contrast of the bass and her
quiet turns me
pinging
into a
guitars are really lovely.
When it's all said and done, I'm not here looking for a fight. But if love is our rebellion, put me on the front line.
Yo, Slinky, thank you for the raid, my friend. Brewskis, make our friend Slinky feel at home.
Miles away
We love
and
slinks.
rooms apart, heavy metal and Mozart. I'm not trying to classify you. We're running with the cattle, drinking with the herd, living by the written
This has been
word.
lovely. Do you hear this? The do 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 do. Like the different layers that they play on with the time signatures and the delays are really lovely.
Mozart, I'm not trying to classify you.
And then you get this
We're
part.
running with the cattle, drinking with the herd, living by the written word. I'm not trying to simplify you. I'm not the only one putting a bruised ego on some ice. But if love is our rebellion,
Yo, you love the Slinky
put
raid.
me on the front line.
This is so good. The time signatures, all of it. What's up, Lobster? Welcome to the Rooskies.
But babe, I'm not competing. Who is it we're working for? The war or the treaty?
And the reverby kind of running on the guitar, you've got this like real nice spring reverb. I'm guessing this is being played out of like a Fender Bullet or something, but it definitely feels like it's a built-in like reverb.
On a board, but babe, I'm not competing. Who is it we're working for? The war or the treaty? You walk a fine road, I draw a clean line. You'll see there's an envelope, and I give you a piece of my mind. You speak in numbers, and I sing in
Anybody else getting a Karen O from the Yeah Yeah Yeahs kind of vibe? I got it really on that My Mind part.
envelope, and I give you a piece of my mind. You speak in numbers, and I sing in metaphor. Long is the window, and hidden is the door.
This is a Yeah Yeah Yeahs vibe, for sure.
But I cannot be your sense of pride. If love is our insanity, then I'm losing my mind.
I'm not your
Then
enemy.
I'm losing my mind.
What an interesting concept. She's had some super mega powerful nuggets. I'm not your enemy, but I cannot be your sense of pride. Like, look, I'm not working against you, but I can't be the only thing you're happy in with life. Like, The concept of like, hey, I cannot be anybody's everything. You got to have plenty of stuff yourself. I can be ancillary to the beauty in your life, but like you cannot put all of this on me. And yeah, I feel like you definitely get a sense of like a more abstract Joni, right? Like definitely not Joni in lyricism, maybe more in Joni in personality and the way she approaches the mic and sings. Like I feel like her writing is a lot closer to like you know, a Bob Dylan than a Joni Mitchell, because I don't feel like I'm reading her mail at a point where I'm like, you know, Madison, honey, stop telling everybody about the people that hurt you so specifically. You know, like sometimes Joni has the ability to make me feel a little uncomfortable by her overshare, but I also think that just makes her a magical artist because she like literally does not hold a punch. Every spade in the world has been called a spade by Joni. This feels a little bit different than that, but it's her delivery in which she's you know, just kind of putting it all out there in the lyrics. Her high pitched stuff really, but it's like it's the character, the mannerism of the way she sings and not what it is she's singing.
Sanity, then I'm losing my mind. Then I'm losing my mind.
And the swings on these drums with this kind of brown ambience here.
Neither one of us are seeing it.
Like drawing a picture with an oven mitt. There's the math rock sort of inspiration. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. This is just all over the place. Going into the last song, Sara and the Silent Crowd. This has been just a banger of an album. Unreal.
Happened, Sara, you lost yourself in the cause that you paid to be someone to no one. Well, how is it now to feel so alone?
Percussion that's not percussion with a real, like an upright bass and a waltz.
Sara, you lost yourself in the cause that you paid to be someone to no one. Well, how is it now to feel so alone, just to be known? You hurt who you love to be loved, and so the pattern goes.
I'm for certain hearing the Joanna comparison.
What happened, Sara? You changed. You've gone out of range. You said if that were true, surely you would have noticed by now. But low numbers round to a dangerous amount.
Even a little bit of Quebec
When you're
from
only
Ween.
concern is making sure you don't get counted out.
It's the softness in the brown.
Do you stand in a room full of strangers?
Give me that C-O-L-O-F-T. Kind of giving me a vibe like this, but I don't feel like the song is quite yet taken a Zoloft.
Only concern is making sure you don't get counted out. Do you stand in a room full of strangers now?
The
Amazed at how
bells.
they follow your orders, and when the glamour dies down, there's only you now, only you and yourself to appease the silent crowd. No one can shelter you now.
I'm loving this one. That she really just captures a lot of sounds that I'm just really digging in on with the textures.
Sara, you went after it, said you wouldn't quit till the fire died out, and now
I'm pretty sure she's playing pick pluck hybrid. I think we're hearing her pluck with the pick and then up with her fingers to get the do 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 do, because it feels like I'm hearing a plectrum scrape a string on the bass thing.
there's not a trace left of it. They're not looking at you like you think that they do.
Does she? Okay.
Really, they only care about their own affairs. Let me
I'm not hearing it now because the guitar is gone, but. The screeching and that's it's like creepy, but also kind of like ballroom dancey intentionally. But I feel like it's like if you're watching a creepy movie, this is like the middle phase of the creepiness where it just kind of feels like happy enough, like okay, it's a little weird, but this is fine. But it kind of has this tension to it all the same.
Full of mirrors now, horrified at how they sharpen the image, and when the glamour dies down, there's only you now, only you and yourself to appease the silent crowd.
What?
When yourself to appease
Crash and burn right now.
the silent crowd.
Perfect.
No one can shelter you now.
Kind of sounds like a ring modulation there, but played on lower strings.
Well, how much is too much and how fast is too fast, Sarah? It's only you who can answer a question like that. You remind me of myself in so many ways, in so many ways. Too nervous to move, but too stubborn to stay.
Wow. What an album. That was really, 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 really good. That is not at all what I expected to walk into. Her guitar textures, the sum of her inspirations really kind of sing through, but I feel like there's a mix of like kind of abstract. There's a mix of kind of of many different genre influence, but I don't know that you could necessarily peg her to one genre. I certainly think to say folk is a disservice to the artist. But I also feel like to say indie is a disservice to the artist as well, you know? This was really just a fantastic album. This was put together by such an accomplished friggin' guitar player. Like that can kind of go a few different ways. Like we heard riff rock oriented stuff. We definitely heard like the indie rock textures, like the likes of like Mac DeMarco. But you also her heavy lyricism that kind of bounced around the real like life parts, but then also like a little bit of absurdist kind of commentary. Had a little bit of a maybe Neutral Milk Hotel kind of lyricism to it, where it's like it certainly sounded textured, but also seemingly intentionally abstract. So you kind of put your own stuff together. I'm really, really, really impressed with that. I'm really, really, really impressed with that. And without comparing her to anybody, like to the point of saying she's derivative, I feel like while it sounded like many, many, many things, you only put all of this stuff together if you are original. I don't know that I could say enough about how much I really enjoyed this. I feel like it makes a lot of sense to me why it won a Grammy, but I feel like uh the award doesn't do it justice because it's significantly better than just a Grammy. I really, really, really am taken with this album. This was fantastic. Guys, for those of you that listened along with me for the first time, what were your thoughts? I am sold. I am so sold. If she's doing a new album, I might listen to that thing. That is fantastic. Guys, I love you. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for the positivity that you show both to me and to one another. It really goes a long way. Continue to be the best. And until I see you next, be introspective and consider the birds. And love your people. Make sure you go out of your way to tell them that too, because it's going to make a difference in your life. I promise. I love yous. Goodbye.